11 insane 1.18 seeds in Minecraft. 1.18 just came out and seeds now work for both Bedrock and Java, so every seed in this video anyone can use. So let's not waste any more of your time, let's get right into these seeds. Number 1. Everyone wants to start off in a village, but how about 4? Yeah, you heard me right, this seed has 4 different villages spread out around the spawn. The first village is at 156, -200. Although this village is kind of small, it does have a nice little mountain right next to it, which can be really good for building. And it still provides you with your initial villagers that you need for like an iron farm or a trade farm. The second village is at -250, 0. This village is a much bigger village, still in the same plains biome, but provides you with a couple other different building opportunities with a nice little river next to it. And you can also see the third village in the distance from this village as well. Which brings us that the third village was at -350, -250. Which is also just another medium-sized village, but this time it has an oak forest directly next to it. And if you face north of the village, you can find yourself a nice little ruined portal, which will provide you with a very beefy Unbreaking 1 golden pickaxe. Finally, at 250, 350, you find yourself a haunted village. And next to the haunted village, once again, you can find another ruined portal. This time though, the ruined portal loot is actually pretty good, providing you with 1 silk touch golden axe and 1 silk touch golden hoe. And directly next to this village, you'll find this huge cluster right here, which will show you directly to a mineshaft with a cave spider spawner right there. And from the cave spider spawner, if you head down just a little bit farther, you'll find your very first diamonds. And here's the crazy part, it doesn't end there. In the caves at around 250, 250, you can find this skeleton spawner right here. And directly next to it, you will find yourself a zombie spawner as well. But what's crazy about the zombie spawner is in the left chest, there's a looting 3 book, and in the right chest, there's a smite 4 book, providing you with some very essential things for a crazy XP farm. And what's even crazier is not very far away, there is a Woodland Mansion at 400, -2000. I know this is still 2,000 blocks away, but that's pretty close when you think about how often these things spawn. Number 2. If someone has ever asked you what 1.18 had to offer, just go ahead and show them this seed right here. This amazing mountain structure is directly next to the spawn, only 150 blocks away. And when you reach the top of the mountain, you'll find this huge valley surrounded by more glaciers. Not only that, but from the view of the valley, it looks absolutely amazing down below. And if you make your way to 100, -350, you'll find your very first village. But what's so cool about this village is that right below, you'll find a huge hollowed out mountain. However, from within the mountain, if you head up over top to where the mountain is, you'll find yourself even more scenic views from above. And from the mountaintop, you'll find yourself a ruined portal and a Pillager Outpost, which is over at 100, -600. And this one actually has 2 trapped iron golems. And if you keep traveling the mountaintops to -200, -400, you'll find this village, and it is trapped between 2 mountains. And right next to the village, you'll find another ruined portal. But if you look up, you'll see something pretty interesting. That right there is an igloo. It's an igloo trapped into the side of a mountain. But it also features a basement. And right next to the igloo, you'll find another beautiful valley that you can build in. Number 3. Now this is one of the most beautiful seeds you will ever see. First things first, you spawn right here under this huge mountain right behind you. And once you get over this mountain, you will see this huge valley, which has a ridiculous amount of build potential. And from the top, you can look up below and see the other mountain ranges right next to it, and a village. If you head to 150, 300, you'll find yourself a little village on the side of a cliff of this big mountain range. And very similar to the last seed, you will find a huge hollowed out cave inside. Here's where it actually gets insane. If you travel to -500, 500, you'll find this huge water valley with mountains that just surround it. Then at the coordinates 200, 0, you find a third valley, but this time surrounded by a huge ice mountain. And it has a ruined portal right inside of it as well. Number 4. Now for this seed is for those of you who like a really authentic terrain. When you first spawn in, you spawn in here, directly next to this huge mountain, and this ocean right behind you. And if you travel just over that mountain to -250, 150, you'll find this very cool cliffside village. On the top of the village, you'll see 4 different villager houses, and then it just drops off for the rest of the village to be just below. And what's so great is it actually has a blacksmith this time too, providing you with 7 obsidian and some diamond horse armor. And it also has what I believe is the most important part about a village, in the library. So now you can get some extra books for when you're enchanting. And only 300 blocks from where you originally spawned, right over there, you'll find yourself a really cool ocean monument. And this one digs itself right into the ground as well. This seed also has some good mining potential, with a double cave spider spawner being at 300 -150. Just a little bit underground from the ocean monument. And then from this cave spider spawner, if you head down the mine shaft just a tad, you will find yourself your very first diamonds. Number 5. Now this seed is a builder's paradise. So a little ways from spawn at 1850, -50, you'll find this huge mountain range. This mountain range goes all the way to the brand new build height, and if you peer inside, you'll be surprised by a huge hollowed out cave. And it carries on forever. This is pretty insane. This is Y level 170, and all the way down here at the bottom is Y level 16. On top of that, there's little splashes of lush cave just kind of chilling around within this cave as well. If you want some lush cave stuff in your build, you won't have to look very far. And just outside the hollowed cave, you're going to find yourself a huge jungle biome. And if you head out into this jungle biome, you get to see how cool this mountain range really looks. Number 6. Now, if you thought the last seed was insane, you're in for a little bit of a treat with this one. One, you spawn right here at Acacia biome right next to a mesa biome. And if you head in that direction, you will find yourself one of those surface mine shafts. And just inside the mine shaft, you will find a double cave spider spawner, which is huge for an XP farm. On top of that, if you travel to 0 -350, you'll find yourself a Pillager Outpost. And this one has a trapped golem as well. Then if you travel to 150 -400, you'll find yourselves a pretty big plains biome village with a jungle directly next to it. And even though it's a little far out, if you travel to 1000 -300, you'll find not one, but 2 ocean monuments. It would be pretty interesting to see someone build something pretty crazy out of this. And then finally, at 1600 -800, you have yourself your very own Woodland Mansion. Number 7. This seed has a nice little combination of all the ones before. One, you spawn in an ice spikes biome, which is already nice in itself. And right next to the ice spikes, you'll find your first village at the coords 100-100. And this one has a blacksmith. But the loot isn't all that great. However, if you travel just 150 blocks away to 200 -100, you will find this taiga village. And this village is surrounded by a huge ice river and an ice mountain in the background. And then if you travel to -200 -250, you'll find a third village in the area. This one being another snow village that has a nice little hill next to it. But what's nice about this village is it also has an igloo. But not just any igloo, this one also has a basement that is covered in water. However, if you get through the water, you can get down to the basement and find your 2 villagers waiting for revival. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you are using any of the seeds in this video, let me know which one you're using. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.